Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Very good morning. Welcome to this StarBiz-ICRM forum. As you're aware, this is all part of the run-up with the Corporate Responsibility Awards, which we are running. And this is a very useful forum, we feel, to address this key issue of getting this corporate responsibility onto the onto the CEO agenda. A little bit of background, of course, just to start us off, if I may. The corporate responsibility has taken great strides in Malaysia, and if anything, Malaysia has quite a first mover advantage in this. Our companies lead by example in the area of corporate responsibility, and they've been driven both by business and private sector, but also by key influences in the public sector, such as Ministry of Finance, Securities Commission, Bursa Malaysia, and of course, Khazanah Nasional Bhd. The Malaysian agenda recognizes, and I think this is a good thing, that we're moving from a basis of charitable donations or philanthropy through to the next stage of CSR, or corporate social responsibility, and many of our companies are aiming to move up the curve to the area of corporate responsibility. This doesn't mean, by dropping the word social, that we leave out the area of social interests in the people. Neither does it mean that we leave out the area of charitable donations, because that would be a bad thing, and many of our NGOs would, of course, collapse without charitable donations. So keep them going, please. But instead, leaving off the word social in corporate responsibility actually allows our companies to think broadly about the impact they are having as business leaders in the area of community, the environment, their own people in the companies that they run, and the marketplace itself. Now, we're fortunate here to have with us a group of 4 prominent leaders, both activists and advocates of corporate responsibility, very diverse in their background, gender, as you can see, and I think also their outlook. All successful leaders of successful companies. Again, that is important to note, that this doesn't appear, their interest in corporate responsibility does not appear to have hampered their ability to make profits and deliver dividends to their shareholders. So I'd like this morning for us to hear from them briefly, but also to have a conversation with them, our guests here today. Now, from my immediate left, Ms. Rohana Rozhan, the CEO of Astro All Asia Networks PLC. She's an accountant by training, went to university in the UK, spent time in Unilever, and was a pioneer staff from 1995 in Astro. So she's seen it from the very beginning, a young CEO in a very young company. Astro has a high reputation and a friendly corporate face, I think you all know, not just because of, you know, macam-macam ada and all that, but also because of the emphasis placed on corporate responsibility, and especially education. I think we're going to see more of that in the months and years to come. Next to her is Datuk Krishnan Tan, CEO and Managing Director of IJM Corporation. It's a major Malaysian construction company with operations also in manufacturing and plantations. Again, an important area for corporate responsibility. They have projects in China, India, Argentina, Vietnam, and other places. And in their culture statement in the company, it says they want to be a responsible corporate citizen with concerns for social, safety, health, and environment. Dr. Krishnan is also an accountant and a very keen, as many of you know, a fit guy in many ways, a rugby player, in all ways probably. He's president of the Cobra Club, and this is an area where both he and his company feel is probably much neglected. The area of introducing sports into the culture of our country, reintroducing it to the culture of our country, particularly for younger people. He's a gentleman player, I would say, if you want to describe Dr. Krishnan. Next to him is Irene Dorner, a newer face in the Malaysian corporate scene, Deputy Chairman and CEO of HSBC Bank Malaysia. She's a barrister, and she joined firstly from the law to Samuel Montague, which became part of Midland Bank, which merged into HSBC as it now is. She has particular experience in the people space in HSBC in the UK. Again, an HSBC and she are activists and advocates of corporate responsibility. And we all know their background in heritage, in wetlands, the Equator Principles for responsible lending, and HSBC Young Entrepreneur and all that. That's the global, the Malaysian stuff that they do. But also, globally, they do similar work. Last but not least, at the end there is Tan Sri Azman Mokhtar, Managing Director of Khazanah Nasional Bhd, for just over 4 years. And it seems like a bit longer, probably, to him. Just by accident, Tan Sri is also an accountant. And bang goes the diversity agenda already. So he's an accountant turned analyst, though. I'm sure he's moved on from accounting, and he has transformed Khazanah from this sleepy, if you like, civil service type environment into one which is at the heart and driving the GLC turnaround. Before that, on the people space, I would say as an employer, I would find that very few of the people I wanted to employ would ever think of joining Khazanah. Sadly for us, nowadays, it's a favorite destination for the diverse, the best and the brightest, the idealists, those who lack the usual Malaysian cynicism. They all seem to gravitate to Khazanah. This, I'm sure, has something to do not only with the business plan and the strategies worked out by Tan Sri, but also by himself as a leader of people.